Hi, I'm Lamarr Townsend, and I am a. Hello. Hi, I'm Lamarr Townsend, and I am an extremely accurate psychic astrologer. Crap. Hi, I'm Lamar. I'm a psychic and energy channeler, a tarot reader, and an astrologer, and I am an extremely accurate one at that. And I think this is an important time to have a conversation about this topic in particular, which is the importance of an accurate astrologer and psychic in your life, or having one in your life. So grab your teacups, grab your coffees, whatever you're into, and let's talk about it. I am also available for personal readings, so you can visit my website, lamartownsendtarot.com. Text me at 703-791-9162. And visit my official website, lamartownsendtarot.com. Once again, if you would like a reading, let me just show you my website really quickly. This is my official website, so once you reach this page, you know you're on the right page. My website is created and designed by me. I do have a bachelor's degree in graphic design and creative advertising, so there's that. As you all know, I'm a jack of all trades. But yes, I do all different types of readings. I do phone readings, email readings, psychic tarot readings. I do video recorded readings. I do birth chart readings. I do mediumship readings where I just channel the energy of spirits around you, or the ancestors and spirit guides around you. I also do past life readings. I do classes where I teach you tarot, astrology, spiritual development, and I also even offer dream interpretation readings, so if you'd be interested in any of those things, then do not hesitate to reach out to me for a personal reading at lamartownsendtarot.com. If you need proof of my accuracy, I do have a section on my website where I have accurate emails and accurate, even on my blog I think there's a predicted it. So on my YouTube specifically, I have a whole section of my accurate predictions, which I've had many where I have been extremely on point. As a matter of fact, my most recent prediction was I predicted, unfortunately, but maybe fortunately, just in terms of my accuracy improving, I did predict Queen Elizabeth passing in the exact day she would pass, actually. So that's, proof of my accuracy. But let's talk about some of these other psychics' accuracy and these other astrology's accuracy or lack thereof, and why it's important for you to be able to determine the difference between an accurate psychic and an inaccurate psychic to save you time, energy, stress, and a whole heap of trouble that you could potentially get into if you're not surrounded or attached or associated with the right type of psychic or astrologer, meaning an accurate one. So I have a little story time myself. I have been on YouTube. I've been, I had my whole story about how I became a psychic and a tarot reader and astrologer on YouTube, that I posted years ago. I did a Q&A when I first made this channel years ago, back in 2016 or something like that, 2015. And my journey as a psychic, I know I've always known I've been psychic. I've always been into spirituality and reading books by John Edwards and Sylvia Brown when I was younger. And I was even reading people when I was younger, although not getting paid for it. When I was younger, I actually used to read people via their colors, their favorite colors. If you just told me your favorite color, that was all I needed to know. I could get a good read on you just based on that. Didn't need to see your face, didn't need to know what you looked like, how old you were. And that's the start of my psychic journey. This was when I was like a teenager, and I used to read people on celebrity forums for specific music artists that I enjoyed. And then that eventually evolved into me, having my own psychic business and tarot reading business here on YouTube. And how that happened was I was graduating college with a creative advertising degree. However, this was once again 2016, 2015, and it was a way different world now, or then than it is now. Way different now that we've had the pandemic. But it was difficult to find a corporate job. I had dreadlocks. I'm a black male. I'm a young black male. Who's gonna take a chance, on someone like that? But I've always had a desire to be an entrepreneur. I've always said I'm not the best employee, but I make an excellent entrepreneur, business person, or business owner, right? So I started watching horoscopes on YouTube. I eventually got my own pack of oracle cards or tarot cards from a metaphysical store near the college I went to, which was not far from my hometown. And from there, I started doing my own personal readings, and I started uploading them on YouTube. Then I started doing horoscopes, and I gained a following. So I've been actually doing personal readings for clients since 2015. It's interesting because some of those clients I still kind of, keep in touch with today. Some of them have come and gone, and that's just how it is in this business. But I've also met a lot of other psychics and tarot readers throughout my time here, on YouTube, online, but also just in this profession overall since 2015 until now, 2022. So if we think about it, like 2015 to 2022, 2015 meaning is the time when I was officially reading for people, meaning clients. That's when I first started taking clients. So when I first started uploading on YouTube was around that time in terms of my psychic, tarot, astrology content. So therefore, I've been professionally reading people now 2015 to 2022. 2015 to 2020 would be 5 years. Add another two, 7 years. So I've been professionally reading for 7 years. All right, so I put in my time, I put in my dues, I paid my dues, to this industry, to the psychic, spiritual community. Um, and I've seen a lot of people come and go, and I've had a lot of friends um, who are psychics and tarot readers and astrologers, um, who through my friendship with them taught me a lot about other psychics and tarot readers and astrologers in the industry, but also taught me a lot about myself in the sense of trusting myself at the end of the day, trusting my own instincts, trusting what my spirit guides, my ancestors, my protectors, my cards say, how I read the charts based on what anyone else says. So, my journey in terms of dealing with other psychics and tarot readers has been very interesting, like I said, to say the least. Let's get into that. So when I first came into the industry, all I knew pretty much in terms of my job was I wake up, I read for clients, I post, astrology, tarot content on YouTube. Back then I was just doing YouTube, but now I have like several platforms. I have Patreon, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I mean, the list goes on. Vimeo. Um, but back then I was just doing YouTube, and I didn't know much about like when you're a psychic and a tarot reader and a light worker. It's important to learn to protect yourself and cleanse yourself. Otherwise, you'll literally lose your mind. So there was a psychic on YouTube that I used to watch. I won't say their name. And I ended up getting a reading with them and contacting them in terms of my plight. Like how do I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I'm spiraling. Like what am I supposed to do? And I got some really good information from this, particular psychic, which led to a 4 year long friendship. Um, for the most part, the friendship had its good moments for sure. I learned a lot from this person. Spiritually, this person definitely helped me in certain ways spiritually grow and evolve in terms of my knowledge, specifically like the magical part, the really spiritual part of being a psychic and tarot reader. Um, but one thing we would do, this me and this friend, was we would exchange readings. And they were all, most of the time they were free. I was a big fan of paying for readings because I'm a person where I always feel like when it comes to like other psychics reading other psychics, I feel like in my mind, this is just the way my mind works. I feel like I'm not gonna get. Sometimes I'll say I feel like I'm not gonna get as accurate or as in depth or as maybe worthy of a reading as I would get if I paid, right? But of course, when you're friends with someone, sometimes you have moments where you literally can't pay. You've got bills to pay. Money can be slow. Readings can be slow. You got to do what you got to do. But this friendship specifically led to us doing a lot of readings for each other. Um, this is a story of how sometimes inaccuracy when it comes to a psychic or tarot reader or an astrologer can get you, in terms of the person being read, caught up. All right. So I used to go to this person specifically for a lot of love readings, right? But what's interesting, and it's also interesting because a couple weeks ago I had a friend who's also friends with this psychic, but closer to the psychic than I am, come to me and say the same exact things that I am saying about this person, but to me. But it's interesting because this person, I believe, would never say this to their face. That's just how it is sometimes. But um, I basically what I'm saying is, from my experience, I know that this I'm not the only person who has had this experience with this psychic. All right, this type of experience, or maybe a little worse. All right, um, I would go to this specific psychic friend for a lot of love readings, right? And I will say that this psychic was very accurate on a lot of things. So I felt, I trusted this person. I felt like, okay, they've been accurate on this, and this. They have to be accurate on love too. They have to be accurate with what they're talking about. I believe them. I trust them. But I'm also in my own sense and frame of mind. Mind you, I'm still young and fresh to the industry, right? And being a psychic and being in this position, I'm also forgetting that I'm also a psychic, and I'm also an intuitive, and I'm also a tarot reader and an astrologer, and a damn good one at that, right? But I'm letting this friend read me, and I'm, kind of going off, what they're saying and trusting what they're saying because they've been accurate about other things. But they were never accurate about my love life. Not one thing I can think of in terms of my love life in regards to this person has ever come true. About 2 years ago, two years ago, 1 or 2 years ago, I remember the last reading I had with this person was, um, they told me that I was going to end up going on a date in the month of August, and I was going to be wearing a dress and this specific coat. I think by now we've had three Augusts that year, the year after that, and now this third year, and I've not gone on a date at all in any month of August. You know? And I think that was the breaking point for me where I realized, wait, like I can't keep doing this to myself. I can't keep getting readings from this person and expecting what they're saying to come true and feel like I'm doing everything I can on my end to make it come true and make it happen, but nothing ever comes true. You know? To me, it just felt like wasting time. You know? Something's not working here in terms of where I'm trying to get my life to. Unfortunately, you're not helping in that process either, so I'm going to have to get off this friendship train and move on, go on my own journey, go on my own path. It was fun, it was nice, but, you know, it's not working for me, There were a lot of readings where it's like your boyfriend's coming, he's here, he's this person, he's gonna show up this way, but it never happened the way she would predict. Mind you, this person also didn't read cards. Nothing against that, because sometimes I don't read cards either, but that's another thing you want to pay attention to is how does your psychic or tarot reader actually get their information? What spirits are they communicating with or talking to? It's interesting because when you get predictions, you kind of like, especially predictions like that where you're going to go on a date or something like that, you look forward to it. And then when it doesn't happen the way it was given to you, especially so confidently, right? It's going to happen this way. This is what I see. It makes you question yourself a little bit. Once again, this is me as a consumer of psychic readings, not just me as the psychic, Lamarr Townsend tarot, leader, myself. It's me as a consumer getting readings myself, from someone I trusted and trusting what they're telling me. But it turned out what they were telling me was not accurate. 4 years this went on. 4 years. Until one day I woke up and realized this person's not accurate with my love life. They've never been accurate about my love life. And you go through this period of questioning, is it me? Because they've been accurate about this and that, or, is it them? And it's like you don't want to lose them because they've been accurate about these things over here, which is great, but you're also trying to, have this thing manifest over here that's just not happening the way they're predicting it to you. And it really messes with your mind, your emotions, your spirit in some way, right? Had another psychic friend, ironically from YouTube, and these two people specifically taught me, that a lot once again in terms of friendships with other YouTubers, other psychics, and just getting readings in general. Anyways, from other psychics, especially where there's competition. Because believe it or not, even though there's friendliness, between some of us psychics and tarot readers and astrologers here on YouTube, there is also competition. Going back to the previous friend first, before I get to the next one, I just want to wrap that up. In retrospect, I sometimes, and once again, I can't blame anyone. I played a part in it too, in terms of not trusting my own, my own guidance, my own intuition, and believing in myself more. But I sometimes think, I wonder what would have happened, because this person also did candles for me, which I don't want anyone doing candles for me anymore. I can do my own candles. But it just I just remember thinking in one big thing with this friend, that I was friends with for 4 years. I remember they always said, we're going to help you find your boyfriend. We're going to manifest him. And I just remember thinking in retrospect, after I had cut this person off, 4 years kind of I wonder if I had used those 4 years in different ways and not fully trusted what this person was telling me in their readings. I wonder how, and I just trusted myself, my own guidance, and had just gone through the journey on my own. I wonder how much better my love life would have progressed in those 4 years. Because there were also times I would get love readings from this specific friend, on a specific person, and based on what they would tell me, once again, this is my own fault at times, I would jump to a conclusion, right? I would be oh, okay, well, I got the reading from so-and-so, so I'm just gonna, put the plan in motion. Which isn't good. You want to let things manifest naturally. But it was just, once again, me trusting this psychic who was honestly just inaccurate. And once again, I'm not... There have been 2 people who have come to me. I'm not going to, mention any names. One of these people is friends with this psychic. 2 of these people have gotten readings from this psychic. Both of these people told me that they were also not... This psychic was also not accurate with them about their love life. One person told me, actually, if they had followed the advice that this psychic would have given them, they would have never met their husband. So basically, these 2 people coming to me were confirmation that I made the right decision to cut this person off. Alright, because the fact that they were an inaccurate psychic was really messing up my own life in some way. Alright? Now, I will say that not every psychic is going to be 100% accurate with everything. Alright? But you've really gotta know what you're doing, and you've really gotta be serious about what you're doing, because you're really dealing with other people's lives, whether it's a free reading or not. You know what I'm saying? Which is one reason why I don't like free readings, anymore. I don't like, let's trade kind of thing. Every now and then it's okay, but when I want a reading, no, I'm gonna pay you for a reading because I want you to work. I want you to work for it, kind of thing, right? I digress. I had another friend who's a psychic on YouTube, or a tarot reader on YouTube, whatever, astrologer. that I actually met through, I guess this person mentioned me before, and was like saying they were a fan. So I was like, oh great, let me reach out to this person. Um, have this person read on my love life. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. And I had, this is where these two actually get coincided. So, the friend from 4 years ago, I remember this friend saying, connected to my future boyfriend, maybe the name Josh was important, right? And I ironically had a client named Josh who was also very active in my live streams. This was years ago, right? Um, Ended up getting a reading with his second friend who kind of like brought up themes that sounded similar to Josh. Like, I don't know if I, like, his friend was like, oh, I think he watches your video. I think that's what it was. Like, he watches your videos and blah, 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 blah. And I just remembered, like, bringing up, like, the point of, oh, that's interesting because my other friend said that, my boyfriend was gonna, future boyfriend was gonna end up watching my videos or something like that. And his name, like, she said something about the name Josh. And I guess this other psychic made the connection of Josh, the guy in the chat, because this other psychic was also in my chat a lot, my live streams on YouTube. So it was kind of like, to this psychic over here, it was like, oh, well, then the Josh in your chat must be your boyfriend. And she kind of ran with that. She was convinced that the Josh guy in my chat was my boyfriend. She also made some wildly interesting predictions or things. I don't know. But I won't say I ended up acting on it. Because here are two psychics who seem to like, they're both on YouTube. They both have clients. I'm still kind of fresh and new. Still kind of trying to find my footing. So I'm like, I guess I believe them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's test this theory, right? So by then, Josh had been getting readings from me for a while, but I remember mentioning it to Josh, like, I've been getting his readings from so and so, because Josh also knew this other psychic over here, and like, they were, saying how like my boyfriend's name is, Josh. He watches my videos, and like, Josh was like, do they think it's me? But Josh is straight. Much younger than me. Turns out it was not that Josh at all. And I have not talked to that Josh in years, actually. Because it just became awkward. At that point. So then I realized not only is this negatively affecting my love life, it's negatively affecting my relationship with my clients. I've got to cut this off. I've got to cut this shit out. Period. I can't have this inaccurate psychic over here telling me bullshit. I can't have this psychic over here telling me bullshit and blowing smoke up my ass either. Gotta find a middle ground. Alright? The middle ground was me trusting my own gifts and my own intuition. Third psychic, there was another psychic. And this reading I got from this psychic was it's not even worth mentioning. I got a reading about them about love, and they ended up saying, I think your boyfriend so-and-so, so-and-so was someone I met through them. However, so-and-so was not my type at all. So they were like, either you're going to be dating so-and-so, or you're going to meet your person through so-and-so. But me and so-and-so had never really hung out, we never really interact, we never really talk at all. So I was like, that's not accurate. So it just reached a point where I was like, none of these psychics are accurate with like anything I'm asking them about, specifically about love. Am I doomed in love? Like, what the frick is going on here? So for years I didn't get love readings. For years didn't get readings from psychics. There is one psychic I do get a reading from who is also a YouTuber. I've learned my lesson, but I don't get readings that often. And when I get readings, I pay for them. Unless I'm doing a trade, for whatever reason, which I do. but it's more professional. It's like, it's the difference between an accurate psychic and an inaccurate psychic, an accurate astrologer and an inaccurate astrologer. Most of the time, an inaccurate astrologer, I've learned, there's something very unprofessional. Some unprofessional element is always going to come out of them. All right? Look at their content. Look at the way they behave in their content. All right? Um, Look at the fact of, do they have a website? Do they not have a website? You know, the only way you're going to find out if someone is accurate is actually to get a reading from them. But you can really feel someone out. Get a look at their pictures, read their bios on their websites, their social media profiles. Are they really active on social media? Just because they're not active on social media, doesn't have a website, doesn't mean they're not accurate, but I kind of want my psychic or astrologer to be professional, you know? Um, these are just some examples in my own life of the importance of having an accurate psychic or astrologer in your life. For me, that person is me in my life, I've learned. I am the accurate psychic in my life. I am the accurate astrologer in my life. I am the accurate tarot reader in my life. Alright? Everyone else outside of me is going to have to go through a filtering process before I really trust you and your accuracy. Alright? So, know who you're getting readings from, people. Know who you are trusting in when it comes to the journey of your life. Because from my story time, my story times here, it shows you how someone who is inaccurate, as a psychic or astrologer, can really lead you down the wrong path. And being on the wrong path wastes time, leads to frustration, leads to depression, leads to anxiety, right? Especially when your goal is to be on the right path or a specific path, right? So, these are lessons I've learned being a psychic and being a consumer of psychic readings, astrology readings, tarot readings. When I came into this industry, I was very green. I just wanted to do the best job. I just wanted to be accurate, and I still am that way. I just want to do the best job, and I just want to be damn accurate. All right. For me, when I read for myself, I'm amazed at when I read accurately for me, because there's days where I'm like, okay, how's my day gonna go today? Is this gonna happen? How's this gonna go? And I remember what I read for myself, and I'm like, oh dang, the cards were right. At the end of the day, So it's practices like that, reading for myself, because it's one thing to read for others. It's just something different to read for yourself. Reading for yourself is difficult to master, but the more I do it, the more I learn to trust myself. And I think that's the key, is really trusting yourself, all right? So learn from me, child. Learn from my mistakes when I used to first get psychic readings, all right? Do not, learn to recognize an inaccurate psychic. It's, one thing if a psychic is wrong about one or two things in your life, or one or two things in a reading, they're not God. We're not God. We're not going to predict every single detail. Sometimes, but if a psychic is wrong about, if you ask them about money and they're always wrong about money, but they're right about love, it might benefit you to find a more accurate psychic. Unless maybe you just want to go to that psychic for money, or go to that psychic for love, and not money, and then go to another psychic for money, right? I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of, I just need someone who's accurate. When I want a reading, I just want you to be accurate. I want to know I can trust what you're going to say. All right? I want proof, that whether it's through word of mouth or whether it's through, videos, whether it's through, blog posts, whatever it is, I want proof that you're accurate. Because I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste my money. All right? And I don't want to waste my precious time I have on my journey of life. Remember, 4 years I had with that friend. And I still wonder, like, I wonder what things would have been like if I just did that first reading with that friend and been like, okay, great, I learned what I need to learn from you. It was great to meet you. You know, moving on. Or if I had just learned to not rely so much solely on that friend and more on myself. But we live and we learn, right? Now I'm 30 and I'm at this age where I'm 30 where I don't have time for BS. I don't have time for wasting my time. I don't have time for wasting my money. I work too hard for my money and I work too hard for my time. Let that sink in, right? I work too hard to have the time on this earth, the free time that I do. Sometimes lack thereof free time because I'm so busy, doing readings for you all and stuff. But I love that. Um, but I work hard for that privilege, right? I take my job damn seriously. Sometimes it's stressful. Sometimes, I don't want to read the third or fourth, fifth client for the day. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I need a nap, right? Or a spiritual bath, right? But I still take it seriously. I want to be my best version of yourself. So sometimes I maybe, may push the reading back a little bit or so. Just because I need to be good in my spirit. I need to be good for you, right? Um, but take it from me, you don't want to have an inaccurate psychic or astrologer, in your life because it's kind of a waste of your time, your energy, and your effort. You really want someone who's all in as a psychic and astrologer, all right? Because you don't want to be led down the wrong path. Okay? All right, you guys. I feel like I've talked up a storm. My tea done gone cold, honey. But this tea was not cold. This tea was piping hot. So thank you all for listening and watching. If you would like a reading from me, definitely contact me on my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, or text me at 703-791-9162. I'm also available for international calls as well. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Love and light. God bless.